Hey, how you guys doing? It's actually been a while since I picked up the camera, but I thought I would pick the camera back up again and record some stuff because it's been a while and I do enjoy recording, I just haven't had the time or really anything to record. So what I'm going to actually be working on today is a 2018 Chevrolet Malibu. And what the Malibu's been doing recently is it has this weird like popping or clicking in the rear suspension, and after a little bit of research it turns out that the most likely culprit for that little popping or cracking is a part of the rear knuckle. It's almost like a ball joint of sorts that the suspension component is attached to. From what I understand, they have a tendency to kind of go bad in Chevrolet vehicles, so now that I have kind of an idea of what the problem may be, I did buy a couple of knuckles for the Chevrolet Malibu and we're gonna install them today. See how it goes. So first things first is we got to get this guy out of the way so we can work on the car a little bit more comfortably and it would be closer to the shed where all the tools are. So alright, all set. Now let's get to work on the Malibu. First things first, we're gonna need some tools. Okay, so we got the knuckle off of the car. That's it right there. And that's the wheel hub. We're gonna reuse the hub. We're replacing that knuckle specifically because of that little joint at the bottom. So all we gotta do is put the new one in, which is in that box. Then move on to the other side. So yeah. Alright, so it's actually the next day here. I only got one knuckle replaced yesterday. It took a little bit longer than expected because I had to go to the auto parts store a few times. But I do have help today. So it should be a little more interactive in terms of filming and stuff like that. But let's get to it. So at this point we already got the knuckle off of the car and we got the hub separated from the knuckle. This is the hub that already was on the car. I'm not going to replace it. The main reason why we're replacing the knuckle, and I think I might have said it yesterday, is this joint right here. A lot of popping that the rear suspension does sometimes is attributed to this little joint down here. This is the new one, and I can move it with my hand, so it should hopefully fix that rear suspension pop. So right now what we're going to do is put the hub back on the knuckle and put everything back on the car, and then that'll be it. We'll call it a day.
If the kingdom is overthrown, meet me at the cornerstone. I know that I can't be without you. This bond is solid gold. We're a diamond and an emerald. It took me forever to find you. 'Cause when it's all over, the love that you give will be there to guide you in every way. Now we've been through the cold and darkest day. The summer's calling.
So I just realized that I never filmed an outro for this video. That's actually the last thing I filmed that day. So I guess I'll do an outro right now, and I have a cat on my lap. The repair actually ended up working pretty well. There hasn't been any popping or any noise from the rear suspension since I replaced those rear knuckles. So I would say that the repair was actually a success. I don't think the repair was that hard. If you're just mechanically inclined or you have a few hours on your hands, you should be able to knock this repair out no problem. There was like 2 reasons that I saw online anyway for the popping. It was something to either do with the shock absorber or with the rear knuckle. I went with the rear knuckle, which seemed to be the actual issue where the popping was coming from. And like I said, it's worked for me. I haven't had any issues. So I'd say if your rear suspension is giving you a hard time, go ahead and replace those knuckles and you should be good to go. Doesn't seem to be too phased about it. Anyways, all that being said, I do appreciate you guys watching and sticking to the end of the video if you guys did. It felt really good to pick up the camera again. I know it's been a while. If you have any questions or comments, I'd appreciate it if you guys left them down below so that I can read them and get back to y'all. But other than that, yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video whenever that ends up happening. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Anyways, bye.